has been a mass exodus of Yu-Gi-Oh players over the last couple of months, and this video is going to explain why. A lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players are just outright quitting, giving up, saying sayonara. Today, I'm going to be talking about those concerns and what can be done to fix them. Let's go ahead and jump on in. All right, guys, you already know I always keep a temperature check on things like this. And while I do want to talk about Konami in a positive light, we got to talk about the negative things that happen too. I really wish we could do it like a compliment sandwich, like we do compliment, negative, compliment. But is there even something good to talk about in Yu-Gi-Oh right now? There has to be something that Konami has been doing right? They're shining light on old decks. You know what? There you go. Compliment sandwiches don't exist, but idiot sandwiches might. Just ask Gordon Ramsay. So as of recent, Konami has made a couple of huge moves. Rarity Collection 2 may not have been as strong as we wanted it to be, but it combined with Rarity Collection 1 has made a lot of cards a lot more accessible. I also like how Konami genuinely is making anime decks competitive. We've had some strategies like Raid Raptors and Melodious really take the scene. Then there were some other fairly strong Yu-Gi-Oh decks like Red Dragon Archfiend and Black Wings, which are pretty good for fan favorites. But unfortunately, all of this has not stopped players from quitting the game. And I think one of the biggest things comes to the pricing. See, back when Yu-Gi-Oh first came out, its only genuine competition was Magic the Gathering. Pokemon as a card game is in a totally different space. Most people didn't even know how to play Pokemon when it first came out. Yu-Gi-Oh was bred to be a card game where we all could sit down and play from the jump. And it also was the only card game that players would sit down and play outside of Magic the Gathering. But the difference between Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh is that Magic was always seen as an older player's game, where Yu-Gi-Oh was seen as something for us millennials and going forward. But now I think one of the biggest reasons why players are simply not playing Yu-Gi-Oh as much is the pricing. The pricing for Yu-Gi-Oh leaves a lot to be desired. I miss playing the lunch cafeteria Yu-Gi-Oh. My blue eyes is stronger than your dark magician, I win. I think that's the type of stuff that keeps us going, man. So before I get into pricing, one thing I do want to talk to you guys about is that there is no way, shape, and form that Yu-Gi-Oh is going to give you money for topping. Rest in peace, Kazuka Takahashi, but his biggest reason for allowing the card game to be in the space that it was that we would not have cash prizing. So unless you guys want to go against a dead man's wish, then that will never happen ever. But the pricing for regionals is a little dry, to be honest. I think it's an unfair ask that there are still really expensive Yu-Gi-Oh cards that players have to commit to be able to play competitively, and the reward for playing competitively at the lower levels is a mat, a deck box, and probably a Nintendo Switch. And at the local level, let's not even talk about locals pricing, guys. I don't know if you guys know, and I'm not here to snitch on any stores, but if you top a locals, you're supposed to get packs. Yo, OTS packs? No. You're actually supposed to get packs of like a Yu-Gi-Oh set, like Legacy of Destruction and stuff like that. My locals gives packs, but you choose the set you want. Let's be real, guys. If you're spending this much money in the card game, you would like to see a little bit of a better return, right? Even at the highest level of events for Yu-Gi-Oh YCSs, when you top a premier event that has thousands of people in it, you get a mat, a deck box, sleeves, and maybe a Nintendo Switch. Spend $500 on a deck, get 50% gift card on Applebee's. Hey, yo! I'm sick, chat. But what if the packs are cheeks, especially if it was during the release of a terrible set? Oh no. Now, Konami could simply get away with the terrible pricing because A, we genuinely love the Yu-Gi-Oh card game, and at the time, it was the only competitive Yu-Gi-Oh card game for our generation. Pokemon is the outlier here, but it's marketed more towards children than Yu-Gi-Oh, and Magic the Gathering, it's still incredibly expensive to play at a pro circuit. But I think the beginning of the end for Yu-Gi-Oh was the beginning of the other card games. And I'm not talking about Vanguard. Nobody plays Vanguard. What I'm talking about is Disney's Lorcana, Bandai's One Piece, and kind of Digimon. Didn't Magic always have better pricing? Yeah, Magic does have better pricing, but here's what I'd like to say about pricing in general. For Disney's pricing, for an early check-in, you get an event promo, okay? That's cool. That's what Yu-Gi-Oh does too. For the top 64, you get a Cinderella Soul Heart. For 32, you literally get cards that are worth a lot of money. It's almost like you win a YCS and you get the mat and sleeves and you get the really expensive card. They give out expensive cards just for topping. If you get top 16, you get a Rapunzel playmat, plus you qualify for North American or European Championship, which is similar to what we have, except since there's less people being able to attend, it gives a little bit more exclusivity. For top 8s, you get a serialized Mickey Mouse. That's crazy. For top 4, you get 2 displays of the current set plus wall tickets, and top 2 players get displays of the current set plus wall tickets. The winner gets a challenge trophy, a full set of the current challenge legal set, including the enchanted cards. I don't know exactly what that means when it starts talking about all that jargon, but I know for a fact when you get an entire case plus all of the enchanted cards, that's way better than what we're getting. They said a full set, chat. Wasn't it cards are worth the thousands? Yeah, it means money. It just sounds better. Yeah, it does sound, it sounds way better than a mat, sleeves, a deck box, and only 2 people get trophies. Ooh, serializing. Imagine if when you topped a YCS, you got a serialized card. Exactly. Disney's Lorcana found out how to make it enticing to top an event without including money. It didn't go the Pokemon or the Magic the Gathering route. It actually just took Yu-Gi-Oh's route and did it way better. We have people that go to the YCS's for the side events just to get the giant cards in the sealed sheet of cards. People have openly admitted that YCS's pricing is completely cheeks. And the fact that there are other card games that are making better pricing without the use of money, I think is a big reason why people are just switching off of Yu-Gi-Oh and going to other card games. I can go further. Where's One Piece? For participation, you get a playmat, chat. That's crazy. You get a 2023 champion pack. You also get 2 celebration packs. This is just for participating in the event. One Piece is ridiculous. For top 512, everybody gets a champion pack and a celebration pack. For top 256, everybody gets an event pack plus a champion pack plus a celebration pack. For 128, you get 2 event packs, 3 championship packs, 4 celebration packs. We haven't even gotten to the good parts. Top 32, you get packs. Top 16, you get more packs. But top 16 gets an uncut sheet, chat. So you know the things that people spend 2 days running around to get tickets for in order to get the sheets? If you play the One Piece card game, you just get an uncut sheet for playing. You get pricing for existing there. Oh my, it's almost like your money that you put into the event actually comes back to you, enticing you to put more into the event. No brainer. Which makes you want to play the card game more, right? It gets worse, chat. Top 8, you get a finalist playmat as well, plus a top players pack, plus an event pack. Top 4, you get an event pack, top players pack ×2. Third place gets a third place trophy plus all of the other stuff. Second place gets all of that other stuff. Here it is. World Championship invite with airfare and hotel included. Come on, chat. What is going on here? They flying you out? There's no way. Holy smokes, that's worth it. I'm saying, chat, we playing the wrong card game. And just in case you didn't know, those cards inside of those packs are incredibly valuable. From what I've heard, there are some Yu-Gi-Oh players that have switched to One Piece, and I'm talking about some very incredible Yu-Gi-Oh players that have switched to One Piece and are making a killing, like literally living off of One Piece. Bandai really a TCG sugar daddy? Bro, flying us out, giving us room and board. Now chat, I ain't gonna lie, I ain't dropping the panties just for flying me out, but if they fed me, I think that those are huge components to why people are playing Yu-Gi-Oh less. Even if you don't get the pricing at those events, you still get something. I used to always say when players say they wouldn't play Yu-Gi-Oh because Magic and Pokemon would pay them money, my counter argument would be, okay, but are you getting the money? Because the answer is typically no. But when you have card games that reward you just for showing up, it makes it a lot more enticing to just go play that game because you actually feel valued when you participate at the card game. And then there's the second component to why players are not playing Yu-Gi-Oh as much. Chad, I hate to say it, but Yu-Gi-Oh players hate Tier 0 formats. And while this technically can be considered a non-Tier 0 format, Snake Eyes has done some irreparable damage to the Yu-Gi-Oh card game's reputation. Some of the worst quantities in Yu-Gi-Oh are being brought out right now. It's not floodgates anymore, thankfully. It's that your opponent can do one thing and sit there for 5 minutes playing with themselves, and all you gotta do is watch. No Diddy. Tenpai is up there now. He's not wrong. Then you have another deck that doesn't even let you respond until they win. It's Tier 0 as much as we want to avoid that conversation. I think it's close enough to where people don't feel comfortable or confident playing Yu-Gi-Oh unless they're playing that deck, and that deck just so happens to be incredibly expensive as well. Tenpai is infinitely worse than Snake Eyes? I can't even disagree with you there. And what's worse about Tenpai is that it's incredibly cheap until you get to Trident Dragon, and instead of giving you a timely reprint of the card, they They told you to ask a friend. Hey, you can't afford this $200 card? Ask a friend. So the current competitive card game of Yu-Gi-Oh not only has to compete with other card games, upping their ante when it comes to pricing, it also has to compete with a terrible format and older formats being more popular. This is crazy. I don't think Yu-Gi-Oh's in a really good spot right now. My personal experience is that people have been playing Yu-Gi-Oh a lot less. I don't know if that's how it is in your local area, but going from 40, 50 man tournaments to about 13 there, even on the best days, is definitely disheartening. And I see a lot more people playing older formats now than before. Hell, even when I ran the tournament, the vlog that I did where you couldn't play anything other than a tier 4 deck, we had more players playing the tier 4 decks than in the main event, which is crazy. But as you guys already know, I'm a man of solutions. What do you guys think that Konami can do to fix this problem? I know personally through data, there's less eyes on Yu-Gi-Oh just overall, but I want to see if you guys have been going to your shop and just noticed less people. I wouldn't know, but the shop I have been to, there is a lot more tables than players going. That's unlucky. I'm pretty sure you guys are going to let us know down below in the comment section if that's the case. Hopefully it's not, but it's just something that I've noticed. I think players are quitting Yu-Gi-Oh because the pricing for other games is just better. The simple fix is to take a lot of the things that you can get from the side events and make them main event prizes. I think that instead of having just a mat, sleeves, and trophy, getting an uncut sheet of the latest set would be huge. I mean, Legacy of Destruction may not be an amazing set, but even an uncut sheet of that would be crazy incredible. This also doesn't take away from the side events having the uncut sheet, but it also justifies them being very hard to get in the first place. And to be honest, it also doesn't stop players from playing in the main event to just stop playing in the main event to go get side event stuff, because they do that all the time. Chad, I ain't even gonna lie, there was a regional where I was on the verge of topping and I dropped just because I didn't feel like it. Getting a mat and a deck box didn't mean anything. And I'm not going to say that that's everyone's experience, but I think that a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players don't even respect regionals because of the prices that you get. Instead of having a mat and a deck box, potentially Konami can introduce a pack system that you can only get for those cards. Maybe specific rarities on certain cards that you can only get for topping. Like for example, in the Legacy of Destruction season, instead of having Tenpai Dragon as just a super rare, maybe in this pack, it has all of the Tenpai Dragon monsters that were common as supers, and then the super is an ultimate rare. Konami could literally solve all of their problems by just mimicking what the other card games are doing. It doesn't even really cost any additional money. And they can even double down by doing something that One Piece and Digimon and Lorcana hasn't, giving away plushies. Everybody was really excited over the Rescue Rabbit plushie. I know I was. Deck related merch should be acceptable, like Blue Eyes mat and sleeves for Blue Eyes deck. Yeah, why don't they do that? Why doesn't Konami have like a Shining Sarcophagus mat that you can only get for topping? Like, why don't they have more exclusive things? It doesn't make sense. Konami, you can make your cards and your merchandise valuable so people can make money off of it for investing their time, effort, and money into the game without spending a ton of money. It's simple economics. The fixing the card game thing, that's on you, Konami. Look, I've told you too many suggestions about fixing your card game, and I think overall that's for a whole different video. But I really want to see what you guys have to say down below in the comment section about this. Please let me know what you think, how Konami can fix their card game, and what we can do from preventing players from going to play those other games. I want to talk about them, but not as good as ours.